Jeffrey Smith is an international best-selling author and a filmmaker. He's the executive director of the Institute of Responsible Technology and leading spokesperson on the health dangers of GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Jeffrey's documentary, Genetic Roulette, The Gamble of Our Lives, was awarded the 2012 Movie of the Year and the Transformational Film of the Year. His books include Seeds of Deception and Genetic Roulette. He has lectured in more than 40 countries, counseled leaders from every continent, and has been quoted by thousands of news outlets, including New York Times, Washington Post, BBC, Independent, Daily Telegraph, New Scientist, Times London, Associated Press, Reuters, LA Times, Time Magazine, and the list goes on and on. Jeffrey was also one of the first interviews that we did for our first documentary, The Quest for the Cures, we interviewed in Las Vegas in the spring of 2014, I think. So we are thrilled to present Jeffrey Smith a Lifetime Achievement Award for being the tip of the spear in GMO consciousness and cognizance. Jeffrey Smith.
A Lifetime Achievement Award. It reminds me of the visitor to Maine who asked the old timer, "You live here all your life?" "Not yet." I haven't had a lifetime yet. I just got in from Cancun today. I was not visiting your clinic. I didn't know it existed until this evening. I was at the CBD, which is not cannabinoids, down in Cancun. It was the Convention on Biological Diversity with 196 countries present, and the president of Mexico spoke to us a couple of days ago, and it was all about, where I was looking, how to regulate GMOs and create biodiversity, et cetera. And I went to an event by people who are trying to promote what's called gene drives. And gene drives are such that if you release, for example, some rats with a particular genetic engineered change, they will cause all rats to be extinguished. It's an extinction technology. And they wanted to use it in islands where there were rats, knowing that the rats could easily get onto the mainland and wipe out that species. They wanted to release it with mosquitoes. They wanted to release it all over. And it's something you could do to change it so all of the weeds only respond to Monsanto's chemicals. It is completely altering an entire species, however you want to program it. And then another lecture I went to was how they're using synthetic biology to create things like artificial vanilla, which they label as natural. And not only will this potentially introduce very serious, dangerous things into our health, it could wipe out the economy of Madagascar. And saffron, the SynBio saffron could wipe out the specific economy for saffron in Iran, et cetera, et cetera. So we're talking about technologies that can completely disrupt all living beings, economies, and of course, everyone who eats. I was talking to Ty as we were coming back from the airport about the footprint of certain technologies. A nuclear holocaust, an ice age, and genetic engineering. They're all on the same level. Genetic engineering, the only thing that lasts longer than self-propagating genetic pollution is extinction. So this is a new technology and a new set of technologies being introduced every month, a new form of this technology. And there's some graduate student that wants to make millions of dollars by taking yet another species and altering it and patenting it. They literally want to genetically engineer 100% of all commercial seeds, plus the insects, plus the fish, plus the livestock, plus the trees, plus the algae, plus the bacteria. They want to replace nature, to eliminate the products of evolution and replace it with designer organisms using designer genes for greater profit and control. So that is what we are facing in this generation. And it is interesting that we did not ask for it, but it's here. When I was in Taiwan, where it just happens for some strange reason my first book became a national bestseller, a person said to me from the audience, "I want to thank you, Mr. Smith, for your bravery." And I said, "Actually, I'm not brave. I define bravery as being having fear, and then stepping through it. But I don't have fear. I am honored to do this. What of our ancestors were able to help protect everyone who eats, all living beings, and all future generations? This is an amazing opportunity to contribute in such a huge way. So I said, I'm not brave, I'm honored and fearless. And this is the message that I want to share. My slogan it's on a t-shirt that I had made says in big letters, think huge. Thinking big is so last century. I'm happy, I feel very at home with big thinkers who have made a huge impact on the world. The world is faced with huge problems right now. And what happens when we step up to deal with huge problems? Well, think about genetic engineering. The fate, the karma, the future of all living beings is wrapped up in our success. What I notice is those of us working in this area, we feel like we are supported by all living beings and all future generations. I noticed it when I started writing my book, Seeds of Deception, which became the world's best-selling book on GMOs. I'll paraphrase badly Ernest Hemingway. Sometimes I write to the best of my ability, and sometimes I write better. Well, this is what's happened to me in my life. This is how I can celebrate the Lifetime Achievement Award that I've been given by both of you and by all of you. That by stepping up to the mantle of thinking huge and thinking for the world and thinking for all future generations, as I know you both do all the time, I think you'll agree with me that it polishes the rough edges off of our personalities as we step into that role and play that role for the world. It is an advanced technique, and we gather the support of nature, the support of creation. The synchronicity that happens in our lives is stunning. So I want to encourage you, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, to think bigger and bigger and bigger and huge. And when you think huge, feel how big your heart is. Feel how your mind is. And sit there for a while and don't leave. Thank you very much.